because we're talking about getting through life on gratitude. I like this topic. It feels interesting.
Gratitude.
I know.
It's just my little,
Deb's favorite word is gratitude.
It totally is. And when I think about this, I've had a few people who have said to me, it's so hard, Deborah, to be grateful for stuff. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And I find that alone really perplexing. Like that just, I'm like, what? How? Just think of things you're grateful for. And they're like, yeah, but it's easy for you. And I'm like, okay, admittedly, I have changed my thought process for the last 17 years in my business. And that's what I do daily. I think of things I'm grateful for.
Yeah, as do I.
So it's just like taking a drink of water.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Greetings, dear friends. Greetings, dear Deb.
Greetings.
Here we are. It's Debz and Moira with another with.
Didn't we just talk about bloopers this morning?
We did.
And said we actually
and then we just did one, or I did.
Yeah, we did, and we said we actually never have any. That's very funny, and we've literally
just created one. There you go.
Right from before recording.
Here we are with another one of our deliciously motivating mindset conversations. Well, that's the intention behind them. Whether they get you deliciously motivated or not, that's the next thing.
Yeah,
but
they bloody better.
I know. And if they're not, then we need to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Dear listeners.
Because we're totally going to change our whole philosophy. No, I will actually listen though. No, actually, I won't listen. Moira will listen.
I will listen.
Moira will come up with it. Moira will come up with an idea. Yeah.
All that being said.
Anyways,
let's get this show on the road. Before we start talking about our topic for today, we like to do our little rating ourselves, checking in energetically. How are you doing on a scale of 0 to 10? And this scale, we move up and down this scale all the time. Every one of us does it. And this is just an assessment to figure out, where are you? How are things going? Are you feeling calm? At 0, is completely zen, pieced out, blissful, warm and cozy. And at 10, you're in a little bit of chaos, thinking, OMG, I don't know what side's up or down, and just needing help, needing answers. But we visit that one. And I don't know about you, but I remember talking with you, Deb, that I remember you saying that you were at an 11 at one point. But then sometimes it's just, accepting, here I am, I'm in this crazy making situation, and then focusing on what you can do and what yourself, soften back down that scale. So all that I think
the other thing is, if you do get into a 10 or 11, or beyond, or even a 6, 7, 8, any of those, just know that it's okay, and all you're doing is acknowledging it. That's
absolutely acknowledging it. And sometimes acknowledging it can be the step in the right direction to saying, you know what, I need to reach out to somebody. I need to reach out for some help.
I need to reach out to Debz or Moira.
Exactly.
Because they put me into this 10.
Yeah. Well, they made me aware of it, so now I have to help me climb down from it.
I know. People are probably going, okay, so what number are you? What number are you?
So what number are you?
You may have started at a different number, and now you've listened to Moira talk for so long that you're now gone to another number.
Another number. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
so
a 3.
You're a 3.
I'm a 3 because I feel there's a few yawny things going on.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, and I did too. I'm putting myself at a 2. I have a few yawny things too, but maybe not quite as many as you did.
A few
so
yawny
so
things.
with this, so I'm at a 2 and Deb's at a 3. And so what we would encourage you to do is just check in with yourself. There is no right or wrong answer in here. And it's just a thing of noting it down. And then we're going to check in again with you at the end of our conversation and see if it's changed. Our desire and our intention is that if you are at a higher number, like 5 or above, that we want to help you gently come back down to, like a 2 or a 0.
Gently.
I just like everything to be gentle and harmonious and fluid and flowing.
Yes. The ideal.
Yes, especially that's kind of an interesting way to step into what we're talking about today, because we're talking about getting through life on gratitude. I like this topic. It feels interesting.
Gratitude.
I know.
It's just my little,
Deb's favorite word is gratitude.
It totally is. And when I think about this, I've had a few people who have said to me, it's so hard, Deborah, to be grateful for stuff. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
And I find that alone really perplexing. Like that just, I'm like, what? How? Just think of things you're grateful for. And they're like, yeah, but it's easy for you. And I'm like, okay, admittedly, I have changed my thought process for the last 17 years in my business. And that's what I do daily. I think of things I'm grateful for.
Yeah, so I.
So it's just like taking a drink of water. For me, I know it's very natural. But when people say to me, it's hard to do that, I'm like, just start small. Are you grateful that you've got the internet? That you can listen to this? Oh, yes, but the internet cost me so much money. Okay, I didn't ask all that.
Yes, but.
That's I just asked if you're grateful. Yeah, and I think that's the thing is getting through life on gratitude is just stop at that one thing. Don't go, oh, yeah, I'm grateful that I've got power, that I can clean my teeth or whatever, whatever. Or I can listen to the podcast. Grateful I've got power. But, I choose through my internet data, or I spend 3 minutes listening to Debz and Moira talk about their numbers. And now I'm just, and so that's totally okay. But you're grateful that you can get on this podcast. That's where it's just got to stop.
Exactly. And that you're grateful to be wherever you are as you're listening to this, whether you're out walking or you're driving or you're sitting in your chair. And actually, interesting point too, because before we hit record, Deb and I were talking about the weather, because where I am right now, we've got a wee bit of a blizzard happening outside, and Deb's in this beautiful summery weather. But no,
just wearing one item of clothing. Yeah.
And with me with my 2 layers here.
Yeah.
But no, the point being that and we were talking about that, is that I feel grateful to be sitting looking out at a blizzard, because it makes me so grateful for my home, for my office, for the work that I do in front of the computer instead of having to be out driving around somewhere in this. But
you're grateful for the little man down the road. Oh, am I allowed to say little man? That
story that I told you. Oh yeah, that does the snow plowing.
Yeah,
sweet. So
I'm grateful for him.
Yes, but this is my point: is that and to your point too, you focus on what you're grateful for every day as a practice. So do I. As my last thing at night, I sit and just say thank you and give gratitude for everything that I've experienced in that day. But throughout my day, I am also saying, oh, that was great, or oh, I really appreciate that, or oh, that's wonderful. Because the people that say to you, oh, it's hard, it's a choice. Right? Getting through life on gratitude is actually a choice. And it's a choice of saying, I'm grateful for the internet, without the yeah, but. Just grateful for the internet, right?
I think when we think about, like, people say, but where do you start? Like, you know, where do you start and how do you do it? Okay, you're driving in the car and you come across traffic. What are you grateful for? That your air conditioning is working in your car, that your air conditioning is not working and you must get it done. And while you're sitting in the car, you can ring somebody to book a time. Like, what are you grateful for?
That you've got a car. That you've got a car,
and that you've got a phone.
And you've got a phone. and
you've got
that,
internet.
and that you have somewhere to go, because otherwise you wouldn't be in your car.
Yeah. So these are the things, like, people go, where do you start? Start with whatever.
You start with where you are. Start with where you are. Because, you know, even what you were saying, you said a moment ago about brushing your teeth. So to start your gratitude process with there. I'm grateful for this toothbrush. Grateful for the toothpaste. Grateful for running water.
Yeah, but I have to get into the shower to get my toothbrush and my toothpaste, and my one foot gets wet. And yep, okay, great.
Well, be grateful for that too.
Grateful that you can still feel things through your feet.
Yeah.
Like, be grateful that you've got that extra bit of energy. That slow. I know it's just these little things, but I think for people, it's realizing you can just start.
Yeah.
So I say to people, if you struggle to go to bed at night, and you're lying in bed thinking about all the things you haven't done that day, because we don't often think about all the things we did achieve. We think about all the things we didn't achieve.
Yeah.
We focus on our weeds, not our flowers. Anyway, but when you're in bed, so think about the things you're grateful for that morning. So you woke up, that the curtains were pulled so much that you didn't get to see the light coming in. You woke up grateful that you've got a beautiful duvet sheets and a bed that keeps
comfortable
you warm,
bed,
or
nice
something
pillow.
like
yeah.
And you start doing those things, and you're grateful that you got out of the toilet and you managed to run to the toilet without weeing halfway through. Like, you think about all those things, and then you start going, I'm grateful I got to choose my clothes. I have so many clothes, you know, and you start thinking about those. Now, those things that could be seen, people go, oh, that's so little. These are just little things. Of course, I'm grateful for my bed, but like, are you? Because unless you tell your bed you're grateful, or go, oh, yeah, like, how will your bed know? And they're like, a bed's a bed. I'm like, okay, but if you mistreat that bed, what happens? They're like, yeah, okay, we know it breaks and the rest of it. But think of those things that you're grateful for right from that. And if you can get through to morning tea time when you're lying in bed trying to go to sleep, you've got to go deeper. Because if you can get through to morning tea time, like, usually I'm asleep on morning tea time. I've thought about all the things I'm grateful for, right from, you know, food in the house, no food in the house, you know, wake up and I can still see, or I wake up and I know I've had a crazy sleep because I've got a stiff neck, so it must remind me, okay, I must go see my chiropractor, or like, what, any of those things.
Yeah.
There's no I'm grateful for my pillow, but it's now woke me up. Like, none of that.
There's no space for that. There's no space for that.
And I think, and it's easy to change someone's attitude. Now, somebody who's had something horrific happen to them, and you're not going to go, okay, so what are you grateful for? Like, there's a time and a place to edge it a certain way. So what are you grateful for that you had that crash and this is what's happened?
Yeah, no. It's very true. It's very true. It's so, you know, it's really interesting, because I had a conversation with a client just this past week, and he has he's in that crazy making chaos type situation. And he's been working through it step by step. And so I know that I couldn't ever say, you know, what you're grateful for in here, while he was going through the real intensity of it, right? The waiting for MRI results and fearing the worst with his own health. And it's like, no, he had to get through that. But I had this wonderful breakthrough conversation where I said, so what's this giving you?
Yeah, it's how you word it, isn't it?
Yes, because there's other areas that we're working on together, excuse me, which is why I'm working with him. But it opened him up to really looking at the things that he was getting, that was, because he keeps beating himself up because he's overeating and he's not exercising and he's not doing his meditations and
focusing on the weeds over the flowers.
Doing the but so I said, okay, that's okay. So what's it giving you? What is all of this giving you? And he's like, oh, well, it's giving me something to look towards. The thing about eating, it's giving me some comfort.
Yeah.
So it's just great. Let's then look at how can we get some of that comfort without
let's transform that comfort to yeah.
But it's just being able to recognize that's what it is. Then that can actually bring in some appreciation, right?
Absolutely. One of the things I say to people, and they're like, there's nothing to be grateful for. Like, so who have you opened up to? Who have you had that conversation with? Nice. No one. They're like, no one. I talk to myself. And so then you either talk to yourself or you talk to somebody. If you talk to yourself, that's great, because it means you trust yourself. You can brainstorm a whole lot in your mind.
Yeah.
But when you talk to somebody, you can say, are they somebody that you don't normally talk to about this stuff? Or no, they're the best person to talk to. Great. So you have a trust and understanding,
right,
that they're the best people to talk to. Yeah. And you go, well, that's a massive gratitude. That's a massive, so I say to people, how does it enhance your world, or how does it up-level things that are going on around you,
right,
to make them think differently? Like, you've had something traumatic happen, you go, how's it enhanced your world? It's not a wording I would use for that.
No.
But there's just different ways of saying, how are you grateful? How's it uplifted your day today? Yeah. Where's it giving you that spring in your step?
Where do you feel good about it? What do you feel good about?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So gratitude, I say to people, write it down, write it down into a journal, the next day, write your next thing if you can, but don't go, I haven't written it in 3 weeks. I haven't written my gratitude journal, so I can't write anything. I need to avoid Deborah. I can't. It's like, no.
No.
Forget that stuff. Like, I've got a client at the moment who's avoiding me. He's avoiding me because I gave him some homework. He wanted homework. I gave him homework. I'm like, I don't do homework. He's like, everybody does homework. I'm like, I don't do homework. You give me homework, I don't do it. So, but if you want it, he goes, yeah, I want it. Anyway, 3 weeks later, he still hasn't done it. And he goes, I need to do that homework before I talk to you. I'm like, you're the one who wanted the bloody homework. Like, no, there's clearly a reason why you're not doing it. But it's quite funny, but it's about gratitude. And so even when I have him who's being frustrating, make an appointment when we're cancelling and and it is frustrating, I'm just truly grateful for him, because he's definitely making me think outside the box in different areas. He's making me pivot. He's making me look at my boundaries. There's a lot of things going on here, and that is something to be grateful for when he's being, you can say he's being an ass.
You can say that.
Like, I can say that's what he is. He might not be. But for me, it's just being grateful for him, just being grateful for his quirky little ways and the things he's doing towards me. Yeah.
So, something else I wanted to circle back to in our conversation here, when you were saying about people saying, oh, it's so hard, and then saying things like, well, I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for my internet, but it cost me so much money, and that kind of thing. But one of the things that I often say is that I believe all progress is made by taking 2 steps forward and then 1 back, and 2 forward and 1 back, and 2 forward and 1 back. Unfortunately, for all those people out there, all you want to talk about is the 1 step back, and completely negate or ignore the 2 steps that you did forward. Because sometimes those 2 steps forward can be really tiny baby steps, and you just, that's not enough.
But those tiny baby steps add up.
They do. That's how quantum leaps are created, right?
All those little things that happen just suddenly go, oh, this makes sense. Yes. Oh, yeah.
It makes sense. And look, I thought I was only halfway there on my path, but I'm actually already there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the key pieces, that make sure that when you're talking to yourself or about yourself, that you're not over focusing on that 1 step back, because it's just 1 step.
Yeah. And I think, and you can go 1 step, but it's a side step.
Yes. And it can be a pause to reflect and to take stock on, is this the right path? Am I really accessing my truth? Am I being authentic and aligned? That's sometimes why we do those back steps, right?
Yeah. And I think I'm going to bring in the word comparing, because comparing, oh, but I see you're grateful for that, but I'm not. Or I can see, you know, and we compare our stuff. Someone goes, oh, I had a thing that happened to me, and people go, oh, I had that. It's like, don't minimize someone else's experience. Like, don't compare, just share what you're grateful for because of that.
Yes.
You know, as the other thing. And that helps shift other people.
Right.
You know I'm a supermarket shopper. Well, actually, I'm not a supermarket shopper anymore. I'm being banned. My partner's banned me because I just go buy crap, nothing on the list. That's why I get banned from the supermarket. But I would stand there and I would say, someone would go, oh, these queues take so long to get through. And I would instantly turn around and drive everyone nuts. And I'd say things like, oh, isn't it great you can just stand here and just think about the next thing you're going to do when you get out of here?
Absolutely.
Now, instead of just turning around and going, be grateful, I just shared something that I'm grateful for, that I'm in that moment.
Right.
Thinking, oh God, okay, I can do this next, and I put that in order. And if I drive past that place, okay, I just change my day. And to share that with somebody, people, you just shut that whole conflict or whatever down. They're just left with, oh, okay. And especially because you're a stranger, you know, instead of saying, what are you grateful for? Right. Oh, these queues take so long. Oh, now they've got these protector screens from people. I was like, isn't it good that everyone stepped up so quickly to protect other people?
That reminded me of a story of somebody. I can't remember where I was, but somebody was complaining about the price of something. Oh, this is way too expensive.
Oh no.
And so I turned around and I said, isn't it awesome that we're all so wealthy?
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
That person be like,
and it did it. It's like, we're all so wealthy, we can afford it.
Yeah, and that person's just going
like, okay.
And you can see the whole swallowing slow motion.
Yeah.
Did that really happen?
It did really happen. But that's where what I mean about choice, right? Because we can choose to say it's a dreadful day or it's a great day. Remember that story I told? I talked about this in another one of our episodes about the going to my mailbox and a gentleman says to me, oh, it's an awful day. What an awful day. And I said, well, it's actually a wonderful day. It's just a wee bit wet.
That's right. I remember that. And it
was pouring a rain. He was
left with, oh, okay. That's
well,
the man I thought was in the wheelchair
him,
and there wasn't anyone.
That's right. That's right. No, it made him laugh and kind of made him do a wee bit of a reset. And I was like, yeah, I guess it is just a wee bit wet.
Well, you can't take a little bit of, like, what does Dr. John DeMartini say? You can't put your hand in a pot of glue without some of it sticking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
very
that's
true.
And that's exactly it. So when you just respond with that, they're just left with, oh, okay.
Yep.
Like, that's it. Just done. Can't even go, yeah, but it's cold. Yeah, but it's, yeah, but is it? Is it really? It's the more, look, I'm a firm believer of the more you're grateful, the more things you have gratitude.
Yeah.
The more grateful you are, the more things come into your world to show you gratitude. And if you can just be grateful for, and I say everything.
Mm-hmm.
The small,
even
the
things, to be grateful for even the things that maybe trigger you or maybe challenge you a little bit. We're like, oh, right.
Or the people.
I'm feeling a bit triggered right here. So, what am I going to discover here?
Yeah, and they're the beauty things because they've just come up. They're not something on your list. You're like, oh, what's this? Okay, what am I be grateful for? Because I think, and I know I said it's not comparing, but there's always worse people there's always people worse off than you.
Right.
So, and I'm not saying compare yourself to you have a home and someone else doesn't have a home. Like, it's none of this looking down upon other people, but know that people are grateful for whatever they have.
Yeah.
And if you're not grateful, it just gets taken off you.
But I think another component in this idea of getting through life on gratitude is compassion. Because to me, having gratitude means I can have compassion for everything that is. So even if I'm having gratitude for being triggered by something, or being having something come up within me that's a bit of a challenge, then I can have gratitude for it, but I can also have compassion for anybody else who's acting out in that kind of way. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe they are getting over focused on beating themselves up. Like Ben is getting really upset about something there.
I hit mute, but hang on a minute. It's going to hit mute again.
I think that in Deb's home, somebody's come to the door. Maybe your gardeners have shown up. See, but he's got gratitude for being able to bark and make his voice known. And we're back.
And
We've got
with
Ben being all grateful for being able to use his voice.
And let the gardener know. What I was about to say before my dog interrupted my pattern of flow and my thought processes, you said the word compassion, and I changed your word, because sometimes that's what I do, and I changed it to love, and not an infatuation love. There's definitely a different love, but a deep soul love.
Yes.
And that's, so if I changed your word compassion to love, that's the way I would say it. Exactly the same thing, and just having that different level of just seeing people with no judgment. If I say no judgment,
yes,
just in love, with love,
just with unconditional acceptance. Right?
Yeah.
Which that to me, yeah, I like say. So here I'm changing the word on you. Instead of saying no judgment, it's saying with acceptance. Right?
Yes.
Because all too often we can even.
I know I have judgment. I definitely do, and it protects me in some things.
It's part of human condition, right?
Yeah.
We all have it. We do. But the thing about acceptance is to just say, I'm not going to walk around with an agenda that you have to think like me and talk like me and believe like me, because I know that would never work anyway.
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? It's like I think of how many holy wars have been waged because of the agenda of you're not okay because you don't believe in this doctrine, or you don't adhere to these life rules, or whatever it is, right?
I think the thing is knowing, and I'm sure we say this every time, because I definitely say it, is be okay with who you are today, be okay with who you are tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you do something that you can label as a whoopsie, acknowledge it, move on.
I own it. I did a whoopsie.
Yeah.
Don't shame or blame yourself either.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, is so that's that gratitude. Just be grateful. Be grateful for your whoopsie. But be grateful for your whoopsie, because it's slowed you down, it's made you look, it's made you decide if this is really important to me. It's just those little things that you can think differently. Yeah. And that's focusing on the flowers over the weeds. That's focusing on the things you can do.
Yeah. Which then allows you to start feeling grateful for what you can do. Yeah. As opposed to getting stuck in the, well, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Well, when you're sitting in a place with some people and they're just so negative and negative, and you're just going, how am I going to glitter bomb them? How am I literally going to sprinkle them in glitter so that it just changes? And that's a timing and a place to go, okay, is this my, they say, not my monkey, not my, what is it? Not my
circus, not my monkey.
That's it. But if it's coming into your vicinity, it's already part of your circus, because into your awareness, into your thought process. It's definitely already there. So do something about it or don't. But don't bring that energy when you go somewhere else 4 hours later, go, I should have said this, or I could have said this, or like, yep, acknowledge that, but let that go.
Yeah.
Because you're not, because you're sitting out of gratitude.
Yeah.
At that time about, oh, I should have said this, or would have said this, instead of going back to that moment and going, okay, well, this is what I'm grateful for. I didn't get a chance to speak, but I have been alerted to something. And
you can, in your own mind's eye, visualize what I like to call a do-over. Just in your mind's eye, you can actually redo that conversation or that. But
don't spend 10 hours doing it over.
No, just this is one visit, just one visit, and let it go. Yeah. This is all this, you know me, I'm all about the letting go. So if it's looping around in my head, then I'm going to pause and I'm going to visualize, or even, create the vision of it going a different way. And they'd say, thank you. Now I appreciate being able to do that and let it go. It's really cool piece that we've got. We have the power of imagination, right?
Absolutely. Well, you think when you're angry, you actually, when you think, or when you're grateful, you can't go from gratitude to anger.
No.
Like, it's really quite
or
funny.
Vice versa, though.
Yeah. So when you're angry, like, just go, okay, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful. I'm not grateful. And see how long it can take you. Trick yourself. See how long it can take you. Okay, what am I grateful for? Okay, I'm maybe grateful that I've had this accident. That I'm not grateful for had this accident, but it's actually made me look at my insurance. It's made me look at this. It's made me look at this. There's a lot of things that's opened your eyes to stuff, instead of going, oh my God, I've got so much on my to-do list now.
Right.
It's okay still, but it's like, okay, well, it's just alerted you to stuff. It's stuff that you've been hiding under the rug.
It was already there. It's just it wasn't in your awareness, right?
Yeah.
But part of this, talking about anger, I encouraged that, and I don't know where this quote came from. I'll have to find it one day. But the idea of it is that if you are feeling irritated or angry at someone, that's actually for you too. And you can actually find gratitude for it. The question that you ask yourself is, what is it that's pissing me off about you that I cannot see within me? Right? Because that's often
the old reflection.
That's right. And so it's like, well, if I'm getting upset, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, or that's not okay. It's like, what is it in that person or that situation that I'm not able to, or I'm ignoring, that's within me? Yeah. And then it's the gift of like, oh, I just discovered something to let go, or to release, or to bless, or say thank you, and let it go.
Well, we can get so wrapped up into things that become so heavy, and the heavier it is, the heavier it gets. It's like that's the snow landing on top of you, and then more and more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And you have to, and it gets to the point of digging yourself out of your rut. So the sooner you see that spiral, is the sooner you can start dealing with it.
That's
just go, okay, I'm grateful for this. Wow, I hadn't thought about this, and I'm grateful my partner said this to me, or I'm grateful. And it's just those little things, because even if you're not grateful, if you say I'm grateful for, you're already starting to change a pattern in your neuroplasticity already.
Yep.
It's already started to go tick, tick,
start to shift, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And by repeating it too, because that's actually part of that idea of acting as if. So you're like, maybe you don't feel that grateful, but if you keep saying, I'm really grateful for this, I appreciate this, this aligns with me, or I'm okay with this.
Yeah, it just makes you think differently. But you can't, and the other thing is it's wise to be grateful for other people and their actions, because they are just people on their journeys. And they're the ones who can come and cut you off and can immobilize you and all that, only if you let them.
Yeah,
but knowing that
here.
Yeah, knowing that they're on their train track going forward, you're on your train track going forward, and you can cross tracks at any time. But I mean, I think that's the other thing, is just knowing that they're on their journey.
Yes.
Just because they don't turn left when you want them to, they've got their reason behind it.
Exactly. And don't take it personally, right? It's not about you. Their choice has got nothing to do with you, right?
Yeah, well, I think that's the thing, is being grateful that they're doing their stuff and you're still doing your stuff, trying to figure out what works for you.
And sometimes, I don't know about you, sometimes it's a nice thing to kind of go, oh, that's an interesting decision, and just investigate it. Not the decision I would make, but that's obviously a decision, and that person they're on their path. Sometimes you can learn some interesting things by saying, oh, they chose that, or they went for that. And you can actually just accept that's what they did. That's their...
Yeah. Oh, they've done that. Okay, that's weird. Well, no, it may be weird to you, but to them it's not.
That's right. That's right. But it can actually, it's almost like it takes the blinkers off, right? Because if it's weird to you, maybe it's because you've got too much of a
black and white thinking.
Yes. Yeah. Only seeing in one dimension, as opposed to maybe seeing in 5 dimensions.
Yeah. Seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. So there's different philosophies. There's different philosophies you can do. You can definitely just take a moment, shut your eyes, and think of things you're grateful for. You can also do the same process, but not even shut your eyes. You can also put your hand on your heart at any time and just think of one thing you're grateful for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And start that way, like whatever it is. If you'd like to go buy a beautiful journal, then go write in a beautiful journal. You know, if you would like to type it into your notes and look at where you were 5 years ago, you know, and keep a record of that, whatever works for you. But the more you're grateful for things, the more opportunities come your way.
That's right.
And I think that's definitely the key. So no matter pen and paper or what, if you
or
can
speaking
get
it out, or taking a picture of it, or painting a picture of it, whatever. So, you know, for me, I'm not a big person to record things and then review them. I've never been that way.
People do that.
I know a lot of people do. I have a lot of clients. I have a lot of clients that do that. And what I've said to many of my clients in this regard is that it's okay to do that, with the caveat that you can be loving and accepting of that older version of you. Because I know some people that will go and look at, you know, a journal entries from, say, 5 years, 10 years, and oh gosh, what a dreadful thing to do. That was terrible. What that, like, and then really beat themselves up for it, right?
Yeah.
And so for me, I would say
there's no gratitude there.
There's no gratitude there, nope. But I would say to people, you know, what right does this version of you have to beat up that younger version of you? Because you've learned so much, you've changed so much, you've become so much more you, that why not just stay present and have gratitude for what you are here? Because you are a combination and a whole big melting pot of all of the experiences that you've had up until this point.
And
right?
that's why you can't compare with your neighbor.
That's right.
Or anybody, because they've eaten differently that morning. They've slept differently that morning. They've got a different kick in their step than you. There's so much of gratitude that is around. I mean, getting through life on gratitude to me is just an easier flow.
Yes.
It's definitely just an easier option.
Well said. Absolutely.
To do this.
Yes.
Yeah. So in saying that, we started ourselves off with a certain number, and then we were going, our aim was to go closer to 0. What number? Oh, were you a 2?
I was a 2. You were a 3 and I was a 2. Yeah.
Yeah. What number are you now?
I'm going to put myself at a 0.5. I'm feeling really good and zenned out. I still have a little bit of something happening in my voice. So I'm just going to sit there. But that feels good.
Yeah, I'm going to say I'm a 1, because there's definitely thoughts on this as moving forward on little practices more. And am I actually hiding from certain things, or am I actually being grateful? So that's where I'm at a 1, because I've just added things to my checklist of the day. So I encourage our listeners to let us know where you were to where you are. Please reach out if you have not shifted in your number or you've shifted the other way or anything, but reach out anyway. But I mean, if you'd like some special assistance, just tap into us. We are here.
Absolutely. And please reach out too if you have any challenges with this idea of expressing gratitude too. We've got lots of other resources and things that would help you with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you, everybody. That's Debz and Moira, Deliciously Motivated Mindset. And that's us talking about getting through life on gratitude. Woohoo!
The best fuel for a happy life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fulfilled life.
Fulfilled life. There you are.
Yeah.
Fulfilled life.
Yeah.
Thanks, Debz.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.